I just need an interview. I know first I said I want a verse. Then he says, okay, when's the project coming out? When's you gonna get it? I said, I don't know when the project, I just need a verse. Cause this project, the last project I did for him, let's just say it was June, but he called me one night like, yo, I'm just letting you know Monday I'm putting that song out. And I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, it's all good. I need a verse. Well, I'm exaggerating, but he's like, the shock rain right now, and the moon got aligned with the stars, and when I write, I put my all into it. Okay, let's put your all into it then. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that verse.
He called me twice to do something, and I did it the record. Let's do an interview. Bet I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around there. Cool. I do the and mind you, the months I'm saying may not be accurate for the months. Cool. June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Now we're gonna do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October. Yo, what's up? Oh man, Keller, you say I tell you October, you call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah, 48 hours, because 4 times you're gonna do it, 5th time you told me forget it. Just pay me for what I've done already. That's where that came.
Yeah, since you're gonna do that.
Yeah, so it wasn't like Cam is out trying to sue J. Cole. Like, I'm not on that type of time. That's the last thing I want to do. But you gotta be a man and keep your word.
All right, I had to tap in because J. Cole has finally responded through his legal team to that lawsuit that first surfaced last year when Cam'ron quietly filed it without saying much publicly. He recently pulled up to The Talk with Flea, I'll link the full interview below, and explained why he filed, saying Cole allegedly promised him a verse multiple times, then pivoted to offering an interview appearance instead, since Cam had already given him 2 verses before and thought everything was solid. And now it looks like wires got crossed somewhere, because Cole's side is stepping in saying that version of events is simply not accurate and that no such understanding ever existed. Cam did claim in that interview that he has text messages to back up his story and prove there was an agreement in place. But according to reports, Cole has officially responded to the lawsuit over Ready 24, flat out denying there was ever a deal to record the track in exchange for a future collaboration. The suit, filed in October 2025, accuses Cole of not honoring a promise to provide either a guest verse or an interview after the Harlem rapper appeared on his Might Delete Later record. Cam, who says he wasn't properly credited or paid for his role on the Billboard Hot 100 entry, is reportedly seeking what he estimates to be at least $500,000 in profit share. In a response submitted Tuesday, February 10, Cole's attorneys argue there was never any binding agreement and that Cam participated voluntarily without setting conditions before the song's commercial release. They also state that Cam supported the use of his performance because it benefited his own career. Cole's lawyer, Christina LaPera, wrote in the filing, per Billboard, that the collaboration was mutually understood at the time. She further criticized Cam for allegedly going public with negative comments about the Dreamville founder only after the record dropped. The filing claims that post-release, Cam began requesting terms and feeds that were never previously discussed and that exceeded standard industry norms. It concludes by suggesting the lawsuit was filed without notice as a tactic to pressure Cole publicly.
As of right now, neither Cam'ron nor his legal team has responded to J. Cole's official statement. And this is one of those moments where you have to ask, how far is Cam willing to push this? And how far is Cole prepared to go? Let's be real, lawyers don't just jump in on their own. Cole had to greenlight that move and pay for that response to be drafted and filed. Legal filings aren't cheap, so the fact that his team stepped in tells you he's standing firm on there was no deal, no payment owed, and no promise made. When you put something in writing through attorneys, you're basically saying you're ready to prove it in court. And I'm going to say it plainly, somebody isn't telling the full truth here. Cam insists he has text messages and communication to support everything he's claiming. If there was never a direct request for a verse beforehand and no verbal understanding in the studio, then there may not have been any enforceable agreement. But if promises were made, even casually, then on principle alone, that becomes a matter of integrity before it's ever a legal issue. This is exactly why so many artists in this business refuse to move without paperwork. Contracts exist so nobody has to argue later about who said what. If you're contributing verses, vocals, or creative input, you want terms documented and compensation clear from day one. I honestly don't know how this plays out, because Cam appeared on more than one project, which makes the situation more layered. That means this wasn't a one-off interaction. There was an ongoing working relationship. If he delivered verses quickly, met deadlines, and showed up in person to record, then from his perspective, there may have been an expectation of reciprocity. But at the same time, if someone keeps asking and you don't plan to follow through, the cleanest move is to say no up front. Transparency avoids courtrooms. Cole's side claims Cam only raised issues once the song was gearing up for release, which adds another wrinkle to the narrative. Regardless of who feels they were blessing whose career, 2 appearances on major records is still value exchanged. If there was no payment agreement and no formal relationship, that's where things get complicated. Cole is currently focused on his rollout and recent projects, staying active and visible musically. Cam will likely address this again publicly, especially given how vocal he's already been. If I'm speaking personally, if I'm already financially secure and established, I might handle it differently and keep it off the court docket. But at the end of the day, business is business, and if Cam believes he was wronged, that's his choice to pursue. I can't call that moving wrong if he truly feels there was an agreement. Let me know where you stand on it. And for those asking, I've got more commentary dropping soon, including thoughts on the recent Super Bowl performance conversations surrounding Kendrick Lamar and everything that followed.